In December 2025, tensions between the United States and Venezuela reached a new peak. President Donald J. Trump intensified pressure on Nicolás Maduro's regime, closing Venezuelan airspace, deploying a powerful military presence, and threatening decisive action. But Caracas refused to bend. Maduro publicly rejected the ultimatum to step down, and now the United States faces a difficult choice.
Since early autumn, the United States has carried out a series of strikes on vessels allegedly transporting narcotics in the Caribbean. After one of these strikes, a so-called double-tap follow-up hit, reports claim that not only suspects, but also survivors were killed. The operation has sparked serious accusations, some calling it a potential war crime and a violation of international law. In response, Venezuelan officials say the U.S. actions are merely a cover for an attempt to overthrow a legitimate government.
Instead of backing down, Maduro escalated his resistance. He declared before supporters, "We do not want a slave's peace or a colony's peace." Venezuela launched mobilization efforts, preparing for what it calls possible aggression. The government insists that U.S. pressure is aimed at toppling the regime and seizing control of Venezuela's strategic resources. What began as a regional confrontation is now turning into an international crisis. Against the backdrop of ongoing fighting, diplomatic activity is intensifying. Steve Witkoff, the special representative of the U.S. president, arrived in Moscow to meet with Vladimir Putin and discuss the latest revision of the peace plan. According to officials, the plan has been finally adjusted and reportedly takes into account both Kyiv's position and Russia's demands. Welcoming Witkoff to the Kremlin, his sixth visit to Moscow this year, Russian President Vladimir Putin said he was pleased to see him.
The meeting with Stephen Witkoff and Jared Kushner at the Kremlin began closer to dinner time. Before that, Vladimir Putin made a number of statements that, on the one hand, expanded on his position regarding the peace plan and, on the other, set red lines for the negotiations. The president emphasized that Russia would not accept the Europeans' amendments and is in principle prepared for an escalation with the EU, which he said is hindering U.S. efforts. Russia has no intention of fighting European countries, but if Europe starts a war, we are ready right now.
Representatives of China's Coast Guard claim that a Japanese fishing vessel allegedly entered waters that China considers its own. They say they forced the vessel to leave the area by applying control measures. Tokyo, in turn, states that it was Chinese patrol ships that approached the Japanese fishing boat and that they were the ones pushed back. As is often the case in such incidents, each side has its own version, while the undeniable fact remains a confrontation of interests at sea.